Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're making a platformer game, and also I'm recording this early in the morning so my voice sounds a little tired, but this game, it didn't turn out too well, which you'll see in a bit, but anyways, on with the video. So we start off with rendering the screen, and we're using a 60 FPS frame rate limit this time to avoid any like bugs. And then we add a player right off the bat with a whole bunch of stats like speed, and gravity and coyote frames, if you know what coyote frame is. And then we create the level, and then we render the level, and we have a whole bunch of functions for all this crazy stuff so that we can create levels easily. And then as you can see, we have a level now. And then I'm changing some of the stats in the player, but here's here's how the player works if you guys are wondering. But then my computer crashed and I lost a lot of footage. but um, as you can see, we have two platforms and jumping into them works and all that sort of stuff. And then we add a camera for the game so that you can move around the world. And as you can see, yeah, you can move around and the camera follows you. And so now we're adding killing the player so that you can die in this platformer game just to, make it a platformer. And then we used the functions that we created to create even more of the level. And here's a 2x speed of going through the level. And it's a pretty fun level actually. But it just ends. So now we have to complete the level. And we add like obstacles and stuff, and an end screen and jumping pads. So you can jump over the obstacle and get to the end, and then it sends you to level 2. And then I swapped like creating level script into a different script because, well, swapped the level function into a different script because it was taking up so much space. But then we made level 2, which would be like a longer level 1, and then it needs a new feature in it, so we created enemies for it. And as you can see, we have this block. It doesn't do anything, so we need to make them functional. So like they'll move around and stay on the pad. Here's like an x2 speed of it. And you can see they don't fall off the platform, so that's pretty nice. And then we made level 3. It has a different color palette than the other levels. And then we also had the background color change in between levels so that it makes it a little more interesting. And then level three's new feature will be moving platforms, and um, it turned out pretty well. The moving platforms did work, but then the game wouldn't open a window, so I tried bug fixing the error, like stopping a whole bunch of functions from doing because it was clearly building right, but it didn't work, even if the only code was rendering the window. So in case of an error in the code, um, in case of corruption, I swapped it to a different solution, but that didn't work either. So, but I don't really know what happened. It stopped rendering windows, but yeah, I really don't know. But I would have tried to solve it further, but I got sick, and then I didn't have a lot of time this week, so that's kind of how the platformer game failed. But if you guys enjoyed, subscribe and stuff later.